What if the day that shattered our sense of safety didn't just change how America fought its enemies, but quietly changed how America treated its own people? I was 32 years old in the fall of 2001, living in a small apartment in Queens, New York. My mornings followed a simple rhythm: burnt coffee, local news humming in the background, the distant sound of subway trains grinding their way underground. Politics existed, sure, but it felt far away, like weather on another continent. Presidents argued. Congress debated. I voted, complained a little, then went back to my life. Freedom to me was invisible, like air. I didn't think about it because I had never been without it. Airports were casual places. You showed up late, walked to the gate with a coffee in your hand, joked with security guards who barely glanced at your ID. Cameras were things you noticed in banks, not on street corners. The word terrorism belonged to history books or foreign headlines, something that happened in other countries, to other people. America felt untouchable. That illusion lasted until one perfect blue morning in September. I was tying my shoes when the first plane hit the North Tower. At first, the news anchors were confused. Accident, they said. A tragic error. I remember standing closer to the TV, one shoe on, one shoe off, feeling that strange pull of curiosity mixed with unease. Then the second plane struck. In that moment, something inside me knew, before the anchors said the words, that the world I knew had ended. This wasn't an accident. This was an attack. Sirens began to scream outside, endless and overlapping, like the city itself was crying out. Phones stopped working. Smoke rose across the skyline, dark and unnatural, like a wound torn open in the sky. By the time the towers fell, I wasn't thinking about politics or security or freedom. I was thinking about survival, about friends who worked downtown, about strangers trapped above the flames, about whether this was the beginning of something even worse. Fear arrived first. In the days after 9/11, America came together in a way I had never seen before. Flags appeared on every window, every car, every street corner. Strangers hugged. Politicians spoke in one voice. The message was simple. We are under attack, and we will never let this happen again. At first, that promise felt comforting. Then the changes began. Soldiers appeared in airports with automatic rifles. Concrete barriers rose around government buildings. Metal detectors multiplied. Cameras followed us into places they had never been before. We were told these were temporary measures, emergency responses, necessary precautions. And we believed it. When the Patriot Act was passed, I barely noticed. It sounded technical, boring, buried in legal language. To protect Americans, they said. To track terrorists before they strike.
Okay, you may proceed.
Who wouldn't want that? But slowly, the feeling of being watched crept in. Libraries posted signs about government monitoring. Phone companies updated privacy policies. News stories whispered about surveillance programs, secret courts, classified powers. I started to realize something unsettling.
The war wasn't only overseas. It was being fought quietly at home, in laws and databases and invisible systems I didn't understand. Fear had stopped being an emotion. It had become a governing principle. The moment it hit me wasn't dramatic. No explosion, no speech. Just a line at an airport. I stood barefoot on cold tile, my belt in a gray plastic bin, my bag torn open by a TSA agent who never looked me in the eyes. Around me, people waited silently, resigned. No jokes, no impatience, just obedience. I remembered how flying used to feel, exciting, casual, human, and I realized we had accepted something profound without ever voting on it. We had traded freedom for safety, not all at once, not consciously, but piece by piece, fear by fear. Later came the revelations, mass surveillance programs, data collection on ordinary citizens, secret government powers operating beyond public scrutiny. Whistleblowers were called traitors. Questioning policy felt unpatriotic. The phrase national security became a shield that blocked debate. America's politics hardened. Lines were drawn. War became permanent. Emergency powers never expired. Security agencies grew vast and powerful, while ordinary people were told to trust them, because the alternative was terror. I understood then the real reason 9/11 reshaped America. It wasn't just because of the attack. It was because fear rewrote our values. 24 years later, I still hear the sirens when I close my eyes. I still remember the smoke, the silence, the disbelief. 9/11 deserved to change America. It demanded reflection, response, and protection. But what we never fully asked was how much we were willing to change and what the costs would be. We gained security, yes. Attacks were prevented, systems improved, threats were tracked. But we also lost something harder to measure: the assumption of innocence, the comfort of privacy, the belief that freedom didn't need constant justification. The real reason 9/11 reshaped America's politics, security, and freedom is simple and uncomfortable. It taught us that fear is the most powerful force in a democracy.